Hi again to everyone. I will be discussing now Module 2, particularly Unit 1. But before we proceed with Module 2, Unit 1, let me first go back very quickly to some things that you have answered in Module 1. You have there the pre-assessment, but in reality, the pre-assessment there were already answered when we have discussed last time also the myths of entrepreneurship. But anyway, let's just go back very quickly to the answers to those questions. So the first one, entrepreneurship covers more than just inventions. It also requires innovation. That statement is true. Number two, entrepreneurs are academically and socially ineffective. That will be false. Entrepreneurs are doing entrepreneurs. They lean towards action. That is also false. Number four, only people who have certain natural talents can be entrepreneurs. That is also false. Five, entrepreneurs are extreme risk takers. False also. Six, entrepreneurs seek success but experience high failure rates. False also. Number seven, ignorance is bliss to entrepreneurs. False. All entrepreneurs need is luck. That's number eight, which is also false. Number nine, money is what the entrepreneurial venture need to survive. False also. And number 10, entrepreneurs must fit the standard entrepreneurial profile, which is also false. Actually, we have seen those in my discussion in Unit 1. So also in Unit 1, I have given there a question for you to give your opinion. So I am very happy for majority of you turned in your opinions. And going back again to the statement given, you first have to be a hardworking and loyal employee before you become a successful business owner. So I appreciate your answers. I appreciate your opinions. I was just imagining if we had a face-to-face class, I'm sure napakaganda sana ng naging discussion natin sa klase. I'm sure kung magkukulang yung isang oras para magbigay tayo ng ating mga suggestions, ng ating mga opinion dito. And mga common answers sa inyo, most of you believe that kailangan maging munang hardworking and loyal employee bago maging successful business owner. Kasi sabi nung marami sa inyo, kailangan natin makakuha ng magandang experience kasi yung experience natin will eventually be our foundation para tayo mismo ang makapagpundar ng sarili nating negosyo. Uh, Parang ang implication din ng sagot ng iba sa inyo is there is no shortcut to success. Kumbaga, kailangan nating dumaan sa proseso, kailangan natin dumaan sa ladder of success before we can really be successful business owners. Yung iba naman, yung sa kabilang side sa inyo, meron din mga magsasabi na hindi naman prerequisite talaga ang maging hardworking and loyal employee to become a successful business owner. And that's very true. If you will try to research, marami tayong mga business owners na naging successful na hindi naman dumaan sa prosesong ganon. Kaya, again, as I have said there, I ask for your opinion, kaya wala namang maling sagot doon. So, rest assured, I have already read your answers there. Yung iba lang hindi ko pa nabigyan ng comment pero nabasa ko na yun yung mga sagot. So yung mga hindi pa nagbigay, if you still want to turn in your opinions, please just forward your answers to me. So for today, we now proceed to Unit 2, Unit 1 I mean, of Module 2. Still, we are looking at entrepreneurship being a mindset. And we have the first slide. We have also seen this in Unit 1. Being an entrepreneur is a mindset. You have to see things as opportunities all the time. And in Module 2, we have now the title Entrepreneurship and Economic Development. So from the title itself, we are now looking at the role of entrepreneurship to economic development. But before we proceed, what is economic development. So when we say economic development, basically it is just a change in a country's economy. That's the simplest way we can define it. When we say change, it must always be for the improvement of the economy or the increase of the economy. So if we would like to gauge it in terms of the living of the people or the community, then it must be better living or better life. Unit 1, Theories of Economic Development and the Role of Entrepreneurship in Economic Development. We have the following learning outcomes. Understand the theories on economic development. So dapat after this unit, we should ask this. What did I understand from the theories given on economic development? And number 2, deduce the impact of entrepreneurship in socio-economic development. So every time we look at a new module or a new unit, always go back to the learning outcomes because this is the main thing that you have to understand in the given unit. First section, we have economic development. The general theories on economic development. On the list, you will see 5 theories: the law of nature, the racial heritage, climatic condition, cultural diffusion, and the principle of invisible hand. Let's go over each of these. So the first one, for the law of nature. So the law of nature basically tells us that economic development is a natural phenomenon in any society. So in any society, whether this society is a poor society or underdeveloped or developing country or a highly developed country like the US, still economic development will be a natural phenomenon. Basically, each government will have this as the goal to improve the economy, to improve the status of the people in their society or in their country. So law of nature, economic development is just a natural phenomenon in any society. So the second one there is racial heritage. So racial heritage tells us that racial characteristics affect the energy of people. So what do we mean by that? Racial characteristics affect the energy of people. Siguro the best way to describe this is when we work with people of the same interest or uh, the same characteristics, mas madali, mas madaling makipagtrabaho. Siguro ang pinakamagandang example na maibigay ko sa inyo rito is look at the Chinese community. They have preserved their businesses. Why? Unang-una, hanggang ngayon makikita nyo, practice pa rin nila as much as possible. Kung gusto nilang magkaroon ng pamilya, di ba ang gusto nila, it should only be within the Chinese families or the Chinese community. So bakit? Kasi gusto nga nilang ma-preserve. Ma-preserve yung kanilang mga negosyo. And then, aside from that, sila mismo nagsusuporta sa kanilang mga negosyo. That's why one application na pwede nating makita rito is we have to support local industry. Kung ano yung meron sa atin, yun yung suportahan natin so that tayo mismo ang magtutulungan. Kaya kung titingnan nyo rin yung nangyari rito sa ating COVID-19 situation, di ba? Laging promote ngayon is support local. Support what we have in our locality. Because tayo mismo ang dapat nagtutulungan. So racial heritage, racial characteristics affect the energy of people. So in other words, mas madaling magtrabaho pag uh, same interest kayo ng kasama mo sa trabaho or kasama mo dun sa negosyo. And siguro isa ring problema rito na makikita natin, opposite ng supporting local, is yung colonial mentality. Kaya sinasabi nga nila ang mga Pilipino, kaya nahihirapan din kuminsan umangat ang ekonomiya ng Pilipinas, masyado tayong mahilig bumili ng imported compared to local items. And alam natin yan, di ba? Kaya yon, isang problema is colonial mentality. Number 3 is climactic condition. So pakipalitan na lang yung spelling doon sa slide. Nakalimutan yung letter C doon sa climactic. So climactic condition, extreme climate affect the energy of people. So even climate can have a negative effect on the economy. So anong sinasabi rito? So halimbawa sa mga lugar na sobrang init o kaya nandun ka naman sa kabilang extreme na sobrang lamig, the energy of people affected. Tatama rin magtrabaho, tatama rin lumabas. Kaya even in that uh, area, nagkakaroon yan ng effect sa uh, economy. And then, we have the fourth one, cultural diffusion. So pag sinabi nating diffusion, we have the intermingling of cultures, or we have the diffusion or the intermingling of two societies. And pag nagkaroon ng ganito, this will lead to economic development. So in other words, nagkakaroon ng collaborative work, nagkakaroon ng tulungan. So you might say, hindi ba parang kinokontradict yung cultural diffusion ng racial heritage? Well, pwede nating sabihin na yung sa cultural diffusion, dalawang societies or even more societies ang nagtutulungan. Pwede kasing pareho pa rin sila ng racial characteristics. So yun yung nagtutulungan. And sabi nga dito, a stronger society helps a weaker or smaller society. Kaya yung sa cultural diffusion, kumbaga naghihilahan pataas, nagtutulungan to become stronger society. And then the fifth one is the principle of the invisible hand. This is actually a metaphor for unseen forces that move the free market economy. So let me give you the diagram for this one. The next slide will give you the description of the invisible hand. And the invisible hand you will find here, the most important thing na kailangan natin makita rito is yung nasa gitna. Government does not get involved. In other words, dun sa nangyayaring trading system sa society, hands-off ang government. And sinasabi sa principle na to is, kung hands-off ang government in that society, then ano yung mangyayari? Look at the fingers given there. 1. Profit-seeking producers will make more. Kasi nga, walang pakialam ang government, so pwede sila mag-produce ng produkto na gusto nila. Therefore, when these producers now will be giving the supply for the society, then the needs of the society will automatically be met. So you might say, hindi kaya maging problema niyan since labas ang government, maabuso ng mga traders, maabuso ng mga businessmen. Look at the next finger. Sabi sa next finger, you have their competition keeps quality high. And the fifth finger there, competition keeps prices low. 'Di ba? So habang mas marami yung nagpo-produce ng produkto, Nagko-compete yan. So, pagandahan ng quality. Remember from Unit 1, sabi nga natin, hindi naman necessarily kung ikaw ang papasok sa entrepreneurship, laging bago yung negosyo na i-introduce mo. Pwedeng yung negosyong introduce mo is already existing. Pero ang kailangan nga nating i-consider is dapat merong bago tayong i-introduce sa produkto natin na makikita ng society yung sa produkto mo, meron sa'yo na hindi naman makikita sa iba. That's where competition will kick in. Competition keeps quality high. And then when competition is also there, syempre, kung gusto mo mabenta yung produkto mo, hindi mo pwedeng lagi nilang itaas ng itaas yung presyo. That's why competition will keep the prices low. Kaya ang magbe-benefit lagi rito is the society. So basically, ito sinasagot niya rin yung law of supply and demand. Okay? So that's the fifth one, the principle of uh, the invisible hand. Next, we have economic theories on economic development. Tatlo naman yung titingnan natin dito. You have population changes, technological breakthrough, and entrepreneurship. The first one, population changes. So anong ibig sabihin naman ito? What's the effect of the change in population in the economy? Sinasabi lang rito is the higher the volume in population, of course, means the higher demand. The higher population may also mean more opportunities due to more varieties. Pero meron din siyang downside. Ano naman yung downside nito? More people may cause lack in supply, thus magkakaroon ng economic stagnation. Okay? So let me just repeat yung negative effect or the downside. More people may cause lack in supply, thus economic stagnation. And kung titingnan nyo rin ang sitwasyon ng mga overpopulated cities natin, for example, Manila, overpopulation, anong nagiging isang problema rin dito? Oversupply of manpower. So kung meron tayong oversupply of manpower, ibig sabihin, lack of employment. Okay? But generally, yung theory na to is sinasabi, basta higher ang volume sa population natin, magkakaroon ng mas mataas na demand. Second, technological breakthrough. So, technological breakthrough, this will now be the modernization. And pag sinabing modernization, this would now bring improvement in production. And pag nagkaroon ka ng improvement in production, it then makes work easier, it makes work faster, it makes work more accurate. 'Di ba? Bumibilis yung production, bumibilis yung trabaho. But then again, ano yung magiging problema rito? Ano yung magiging downside dito? The downside is this: if technology replaces regular manpower, then there will be lesser job opportunities. Technological breakthrough, mas malaki ang lamang nito for yung mga may-ari ng kumpanya. Pero dun nga sa mga regular employees, syempre, pag gumanda na ng gumanda yung machinery ng isang kumpanya, pwedeng magbawas din sila naman ng manpower. Then third, entrepreneurship. So remember, entrepreneurship is the backbone of society. This is the backbone of the economy. Tingnan niyo yung nangyari sa atin ngayong COVID-19 crisis. Nung nag-ECQ tayo, nung nagkaroon ng lockdown, so lahat ng negosyo huminto. Halos lahat. Ang pinayagan lang yung mga essentials. And then, because of that, there was a huge decline in the economy. Kaya nga ngayon, kahit hindi pa tapos yung crisis, sacrifice. Anong sabi ng gobyerno? We will try to ease up, opening some businesses para hindi lang huminto ang pag-ikot ng economy natin. Okay? So you will see here the great effect of entrepreneurship. Once na huminto ang mga negosyo, hihinto ang circulation ng money. Pag huminto ang circulation ng money, patay ang economy ng buong bansa. Okay? Next, we have the theory of mercantilism. So this is a trade theory which prevailed during the 16th to the 19th century. And basically, ang sinasabi lang naman dito is the wealth of a nation is measured based on its accumulated wealth in terms of gold and silver. Gold reserves. Kaya ngayon yung naririnig nyo na ang gobyerno dapat mataas ang gold reserve. And then nations should accumulate wealth by encouraging exports and discouraging imports. And this is very true. And this is very obvious in our government na nagiging violation. Bakit nagiging violation? For example, dun pa lang sa rice industry natin. Parang tayo, pwede nating sabihin we are the rice capital of Asia. And yet, the irony of it all is bakit tayo mismo nag nag-i-import pa tayo ng bigas. Dapat tayo ang nag-e-export. The theory of mercantilism aims at creating trade surplus. So pag sinabi mong trade surplus, the amount by which the value of a country's exports exceeds the cost of its imports. So mas mataas ang exports kaysa sa imports. And that is the theory of mercantilism. Kung gusto mong gumandang ekonomiya ng iyong bansa, then you must have higher exports compared to your imports. Next, we have the Schumpeter's model of economic development. The Schumpeter assumes a perfectly competitive economy which is in stationary equilibrium. So in such a stationary state, there is perfect competitive equilibrium. No profits, no interest rates, no savings, no investments, and no involuntary unemployment. This equilibrium is characterized by the term circular flow. Continues to repeat itself every year. In the circular flow, the same products are produced every year in the same manner. So according to him, economic development is spontaneous and discontinuous change in the channels of the circular flow. Disturbance of equilibrium which forever alters and displaces the equilibrium state previously existing. And last statement, according to this, development consists in the carrying out new combinations for which possibilities exist in the stationary state. New combinations come about in the form of innovations. So the key there is yung sa innovations. And yan yung nakita natin sa Unit 1. You want to become a successful entrepreneur, dapat lagi kang may innovation. Your business does not necessarily be something new always. But kung yung negosyong papasukin mo is already an existing business, just make sure you will introduce an innovation. Something new. You have something different compared to the other businesses already existing. Entrepreneurship is the key to economic and social development. It's the engine of the economy. Now let's look at the contributions of entrepreneurship to social economic development. First, it creates employment of resources, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. Okay. Creates employment of resources. So clearly, pag sinabi natin sa land, ngayon magagamit na yung mga bakanting lote, pagpapatayo ng bagong infrastructure, pagpapatayo ng bagong factories, pagpapatayo ng bagong business establishments. And magiging chain reaction na yan. As these business establishments will be raised, of course, kailangan ng labor, kailangan ng mga trabahador, kailangan ng startup capital, and of course, dyan na mag-i-increase yung ating negosyo. Then second, brings equitable distribution of income. Obviously, if jobs are created, then it must also generate income. Diba? Kaya kahit nga dito sa Baguio, tingnan nyo yung mga malls na naitayo, it generated jobs. Yung mga call centers, ang dami nabigyan din ng trabaho. Just one note here, income improves circulation of money. This is the reason why the government really promotes the influx of investors. Third, brings industrialization in the countryside. So pag sinabi natin countryside, we are referring to our rural areas, yung ating mga probinsya. So what are the advantages of bringing the industry to our countryside? One, it creates jobs for the people in the rural areas. Ibig sabihin nito, jobs are not only focused or concentrated sa mga malalaking syudad. Two, that would also help decongest main cities. And anong implication pag na-decongest ang main cities natin? There will now be more efficient movement of goods. And I remember when I was still in my grad school, one of my teachers was proposing me to do a study kung magkano ang nawawala sa economy pag nadidelay ang pag-deliver ng goods. Kasi ang gusto naming pag-aralan dati noon is yung sa traffic management. So, sabi ng teacher ko, ang isang ipasok mo dyan na factor is give the exact computation kung magkano ang nawawala pag nadidelay ang deliveries. And that is very true. That is very true. Pag na-delay ang deliveries, that has a very big effect in the economy. And sabi ko nga rito, pag ang ating industries na ilagay sa mga probinsya, then our big cities or our key cities will now be decongested. And then, ano pang implication nito? So, pag na-decongest din, pati yung pagpasok ng mga empleyado natin to their workplaces, mababawasan. Tingnan niyo yung mga nasa Manila. If they have to work, ang layo ng ibibiyahe nila, they have to wake up very, very early. Kung minsan hindi na sila nagiging productive pagdating sa trabaho dahil doon pa lang sa biyahe na pagpunta sa work, pagod na sila. Samantalang kung maayos natin yung pagdidecongest sa ating big cities, then that will also be a great help for our employees. And if there will be lesser time on the road, it also will mean more time for the family. But what is again the downside of this? The downside is pwedeng magkaroon ng pollution problem sa rural areas. But anong magiging remedyo dyan? Siguro ang kailangan lang natin dito is, one, magandang regulation at saka strict compliance ng mga kumpanya from our government. So dapat dito maiwasan yung mga red tape so that yung mga pagkuha ng environmental permit ay masusunod ng maayos. And then the fourth one, and we will end with this dito sa Unit 1, we have also the provision of the following: products and necessities, freedom from servitude, social deprivation and misery, self-esteem, self-worth, self-respect, of service to the community. Okay? So pag sinabi nating freedom from servitude or slavery. Okay? So kung magkakaroon ng magandang entrepreneurship, then magkakaroon ng freedom from slavery. So hindi ka rin madideprive in your own society, mababawasan ang misery. Sabi nga nila yung self-esteem daw, aakyat, self-worth, kasi nga nakikita mo naintindihan mo ngayon, mas productive ka na in your own society. So these are the contributions of entrepreneurship to socio-economic development. And let me end with this slide. And I guess you would not like to see this slide because this is your activity to be submitted. So one, explain activity. Ito, wala kayong kailangan mo na i-submit but you have to read. If you want to understand more on the theory of mercantilism, uh, please read more about this and go over the works of the following people: Adam Smith, Karl Marx, at saka yung nabasa natin kanina kay Joseph Schumpeter. Okay? And then, your reflection paper, discover a technopreneur whom you consider as a change agent and detail his or her contributions to the improvement of the society. So just limit your answer to one page. So for your answers here, you can just turn it in through the Google Classroom. So please pakisundan yung instruction to limit it to one page only. And then, kahit hindi nyo sabay isubmit ito, the second requirement will be create an entrepreneurship and socio-economic development relationship mind map. So in your relationship mind map, you illustrate the interconnectivity of entrepreneurship and the socio-economic benefits. So kung hindi nyo maintindihan kung ano ang mind map, just research on it. Okay? So yan yung magiging activity nyo for the week. So I'll be uploading other materials na pwede nyo pang magamit as we go along. So again, good day to everyone. This is now the end of the video presentation for Module 2, Unit 1. So kung meron kayong tanong, please feel free to email me. Feel free to send me a message. Goodbye and till the next meeting.